On this day, the 24th of January, 1287, the birth of Richard de Bury. Born near Bury St Edmunds in Suffolk, Richard was the son of Sir Richard Aungerville and could trace his lineage back to men who had fought for William the Conqueror. Richard studied philosophy and theology at Oxford University and became a tutor to the future Edward III while the boy was Earl of Chester. He seems to have become entangled in the plots to unseat Edward II, supplying Queen Isabella and Roger Mortimer with funds. Once Edward III became king, Richard's rewards began to flow. He was first appointed Cofferer to the king, then Treasurer of the Wardrobe, and then Lord Privy Seal. The king used Richard as an ambassador to the Pope at Avignon, and in 1333 Edward appointed him Bishop of Durham, overturning the vote of the monks. The following year, 1334, Richard became Lord Treasurer, and then later the same year, Lord Chancellor, effectively making him Edward III's chief minister. He only held that post for 1 year before resigning it to travel to France and represent Edward III there in the emerging disputes between the English and French kings. He went on an embassy to Louis IV, Holy Roman Emperor, and helped negotiate peace with the Scots on Edward's behalf. Richard is most famous, though, as a lover of books, collecting a vast library that he planned to house at Oxford. He wrote Philobiblon, Greek for the love of books, to encourage others to adopt a love of reading and of learning. This book is recognised as the first discussion of library techniques and management for the organisation and even the lending of books. Chapter 19 is entitled Of the Manner of Lending All Our Books to Students. Richard died in 1345, aged 58, and his huge collection of books, gathered at great personal effort and expense, was almost immediately dispersed and effectively lost. His vision of a well-organised, well-stocked library at Oxford that would lend books to students was never realised, but 700 years later, he's perhaps considered the first librarian.